Yes, everybody, we are back live in the building. I want everybody spamming those W's already, guys. For anyone that was worried, because of course, the Here We Go from Fabrizio Romano came not so long ago, but quite a few people were worried that it would mean that they were stressed that the English media hadn't confirmed it yet, right? I saw a lot of people worried. But you gotta trust that man Fabrizio, because now, and to be fair though, the fee is a lot less than what he initially reported and what everyone initially thought it was gonna be. So David Ornstein, Paul Joyce, any journalist, you name it, in the UK has now confirmed that we've agreed a club record fee of 136.3 million euros. So that is, again, very, very different to the initial 150 million euros that was being reported everywhere, guys. In this market, that's an absolute bargain. And it's 117.5 million euros paid upfront, and then there's going to be a further 18.8 million euros in add-ons, guys. So if all the add-ons are triggered, right, and that's probably good news if they're triggered, because I'll bet you some of the add-ons in the installments are, for example, if Liverpool win the Champions League, Leverkusen get 5 million, something like that. So honestly, if those installments are triggered, trust me, it's good news for Liverpool, because it means that there's team success going around Florian Wirtz. So this is just absolutely fantastic news, you guys. And it seems like he's going to be signing a 5-year deal as well. Hopefully, I'm hoping even for option to extend for a further year, because 5 years, we want him for even more, because he just turned 22, bro, and he's the future. But yeah, guys, the buzz is absolutely there. Obviously, we already had the Here We Go, so I wasn't stressed whatsoever, but I saw quite a few of you guys in the build and were like, why isn't David Ornstein saying it's done? Why isn't Paul Joyce saying it's done? Well, for anyone that had doubts, today's the day where it got finished. All those doubts got wrapped up, baby. And yeah, like I said, the fee is even better than we expected, you guys. The fee is even better than we expected, because it's a lot less than 150 million euros. And like I said, it's 100 million pounds upfront, which, yes, is a lot of money, especially considering what we usually pay you guys. It's a lot when you consider that. But to get an elite player like this already now at 22, and then to get him for his future, I don't think there's any other player on the market this summer for that. And this is why, in my opinion, we went all in. The reason we went all in for him, in my opinion, is due to that reason. Due to that very reason, that we looked at all the other options in the market, and for example, the striker market, so expensive this summer. We went for the elite option out there. The elite option out there. And we got it signed, sealed, and done, baby. Ria says, when's his medical? His medical will be on after he returns from his holiday, apparently. So I bet he's probably going to have something like a 2-week holiday, probably. But yeah, he should be back after that. That is my personal prediction, although I can't tell you the exact date. But from what I've seen. Yo, Mr. H and friends, nice to see you in the building. What's good? Bro, it's not 150 million. I just said, did you not hear me? I just said it's 136.3 million euros, and it's 100 million pounds upfront. That's what the fee is. 100 million pounds upfront. That's the fee. He told Bayern no. He told Man City no. That's what happened. That's what happened, you guys. I think I saw somewhere it's next week. He's the best option, and he has a lot of talent. Absolutely. And this is why Mr. Unknown, I could see him playing as a false 9 or Szoboszlai as a false 9. Because like I said, you look at the striker market this summer. Initially, it looked like Gyökeres, for example. Victor Gyökeres from Sporting. It seemed like he could be available for pretty cheap. But apparently, he broke the promise, the verbal promise, that they would be willing to let him go for cheaper than... for like around 65 million euros. Apparently now they're asking for much more. They're seeing how competitive the striker market is this summer, and they're asking for a lot more. So you see, even a player like that, that's not guaranteed, would cost a ton of money. And this is why this deal is incredible, you guys. It's an incredible deal. Is this still the all-time transfer fee in the Premier League? Yes, Reflex Expert. If if all those the add-ons, so the installments get triggered. So as you can see here, it's confirmed that it's £100 million up front. If it's just that, then no, it wouldn't be the transfer record fee. But if those further add-ons get triggered, so those £16 million, then it would just slightly be the all-time Premier League transfer record, because Caicedo cost 115 million. So it's a £1 more million than Caicedo. But like I said, that depends if the add-ons are triggered. And like I said, trust me, you guys, we want those add-ons to be triggered, because all those add-ons will be dependent, I bet, a whole lot on team success. Because we know, let's say we win the Champions League, I'll bet you that's one of the installments. That's going to bring so much money and value to the club that even if we have to pay another 5 to 10 million for Wirtz, to Leverkusen, that's great news for Liverpool, because if we go on to win the Champions League, trust me, he would play an important role, because immediately he becomes a starter in our team. You don't pay record fees for players that aren't going to be immediate starters. Trust me. Are you optimistic about Kirkez? 100% optimistic about Kirkez. Again, we're the only team that's there. That's why you guys heard me in any live that I did about Wirtz during this two plus weeks that we were really interested in him. The whole time, you guys, I told you I was always confident. I was never stressed. Why? Because when a player chooses you and wants to leave, and the club is willing to sell, it's just a matter of finding the fee eventually. That's it. And Wirtz only wanted Liverpool. He rejected Bayern. He rejected Man City to come to Liverpool Football Club. So I was never stressed. And again, it's very different to the Caicedo and Lavia situations, because in those situations, they had already agreed personal terms and wanted to go to Chelsea. So it's nothing like those. Same with Jude Bellingham. We never technically sent a bid in, and he never technically chose us over other clubs. So you can't compare this to any other situation. And same with Kirkez. So guys, do not be worried about the Kirkez situation either, because he apparently just wants Liverpool's. City were interested in a left back. They've signed a left back now. Real Madrid were interested in a left back. They've already signed a left back now. So we're the only team that's really in the race now for Kirkez, and he wants to move, and he's our top option. So I just don't see a world where that doesn't get done either. You know what I mean? Mr. H and friends, thank you very much. Who says, what a day to be a Red. Just found your channel. Great work, sir. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Oh my goodness. What a day to be alive. I love it. One of the comments, I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I really like this move. I think Anisla will get the best out of Florian Wirtz. Bro, I'm too excited. As you said, what a time to be a Red. What a time to be alive, you guys. Is he defo coming? Yes, he's defo coming. Everything has been agreed. The personal terms, by the way, were agreed 2 weeks ago. So the personal terms were never an issue. It was just agreeing that fee. And like I said, the fee that's been agreed now is 136.3 million euros, which is 116 million pounds, if you include the add-ons. We are Liverpool. Kirkez is done. Well, Kirkez is not 100% done, but it will get done. Like I said, I'm very, very confident. Did you see Trent is number 12 in Real Madrid? Yeah, I did see. We're going to be the Premier League Galacticos, bro. I never thought we'd be saying that. Just Henry says, we are Liverpool. You have Szoboszlai, Wirtz, and Maka, bro. Maka is not a cam. And Szoboszlai's best position is not cam. So no, that's just not right. That is just not facts. But I can really see Florian Wirtz and Szoboszlai interchanging between the false 9 role next season. I really think that can happen, because like I said about Szoboszlai before, he's way too good to be a bench player. And my personal prediction, especially in the games where Slot decides to start Kirkez and Frimpong, who are extremely attacking fullbacks, who bring so much quality going forward, I can see this happening in possession. I told you guys this before, but the more I think about it, the more I think it will happen. Obviously, there's no confirmation of that. I have no idea what's going through Anislot's head, but I think in possession, we could have Gravenberch drop into a back three with Virgil van Dijk and Ibu Konate, which would allow our fullbacks to bombard forward as options. And then I could see Szoboszlai dropping in as one of the holding mids with Maka, right? So those two. I could see Wirtz having that kind of basically free role to roam in the center of that pitch because he's incredible in the center there and in tight spaces. Him having that freedom in the center, and then Salah and Cody Gakpo, or Salah and Lucho coming inside like this. And then, like I said, Kirkez and Frimpong as the fullbacks that bombard forward. And this is why, like I was saying before, I truly believe we'll find a way to start. Truly, I believe we'll find a way to start, like I said, Szoboszlai and Wirtz, because I think there's many ways we can intelligently use all the weapons at our disposal. And I can see many games next season where Slot does start Kirkez and Frimpong, and that would be so attacking. So we would need support in that aspect. And trust me, Szoboszlai is a holding mid with Maka. My goodness, he said Arne Slot towards the end of the season that Szoboszlai prefers playing deeper. He plays deeper for Hungary. So that's the kind of role I think he's going to occupy much more this season. And I think we could see Wirtz far forward, but I think we could see Wirtz in a kind of role where he has the freedom to work his magic. I think we see him as that special of a player because, you know, like I was saying before, we never go for these kind of transfer record fees. But for a player like this, I believe we'll let him do his thing. And the other two midfielders, Maka and Szoboszlai, will do a lot of we'll have to do a lot of the dirty work but I mean, they're both still technically incredible. But man, I'm just too excited for next season. I can't wait. DS357, thank you very much for the super chat. Who says excited for Liverpool versus City battles again? Me too, bro. It's gonna be incredible because obviously City have gone so big. They spent over 300 million in the 2025 calendar year. So City are back to spending wild sums of money, right? If you look at their January window and what they've done so far here. So they're going to be back next season. Rodri will be back. You know, Ryan Cherki, I do think is a fantastic signing. He's some talent. But for people saying, oh, City aren't spending that much, that's just absolutely ludicrous to be saying that. Because like I said, I can give you the exact number. Actually, I was looking at this yesterday. Let me see. It was a stat. Where was it? No, I think I sent it to my friend. Let me check. Yeah, I sent it yesterday. Okay, so yeah, the biggest spending clubs in 2025, Man City so far have spent 346 million euros. So for all those City fans that are saying, Liverpool is just like buying their way to success now because they're spending record fee on a player, bro, have a look at yourselves, okay? In 2025, you spent 346 million euros so far, okay? So calm down a little bit. Calm down a little bit there, okay? It's not comparable to the type of spending we're going to go through. And we're going to have not even that high of a net spend, in my opinion, by the end, because the likes of Darwin will leave. The likes of Kostas will leave. Kelleher and Trent have already left. Lots of players will be leaving this summer as well. So, yeah. Do you think the price tag will affect Wirtz? We're going to make sure the price tag doesn't affect Wirtz. Like I said, we already have a winning culture at Liverpool Football Club. And what I think is such incredible news is the fact that we already have a star attacker who is used to having the pressure on his shoulders, who's used to stepping up for Liverpool week in, week out. And therefore, we don't have to ask of that from Wirtz right away. And I think that will alleviate a lot of the pressure for him. And obviously, the player I'm mentioning is Mohamed Salah. The fact that Mohamed Salah is here for another 2 years is incredible in my opinion, for Wirtz especially, because it allows him a bit more time to settle to the Premier League, and it alleviates, like I said, some of that pressure, because Mohamed Salah, we know, delivers. He delivers, and therefore he's not going to be the one that we kind of look for, who has to be the match winner and the difference maker every single time, you know? What's up, Leo from Australia? I'm going to A-League All-Stars versus Wrexham. That's sick. Enjoy, bro. What trophies do you think we want to win next season? Andekar, I think we go all in for the Premier League and Champions League. Like I said, I absolutely, I think we'll let Arsenal have the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup because we've won those domestic cups recently. So I think it would be great if we let Arsenal have those domestic cups and we just focus on the Premier League and the Champions League. With the team that we have right now, that's what I want. I'm not even thinking about the quadruple. Like I said, I just want the Premier League and the Champions League. Those are the big trophies. And I think we should just go all in on focusing on that because Slot doesn't seem like he wants a big squad anyways. We saw that last season. So, man, that would just be... Oh, Harry says, I want a Wembley trip. I understand. True. Okay, then let's go for... Let's let Arsenal have the... Let's actually let Arsenal have the Carabao Cup, and we'll go for the Premier League, Champions League, and FA Cup. But no, what I was saying, the reason I was saying that, Harry, is because we've had so many Wembley trips recently, and we haven't won the Champions League now for 6 years. So for me, if we had to focus, that's all I can think about, you know. And the away trips in Europe, I did so many of them. That season we got to the final in 2022. I went to every single away game, and bro, the scenes in the away end, unbelievable in Europe. Unbelievable. I've booked flights to Hungary. Oh my goodness. I love that. Imagine what we could potentially have two Hungarian starters in our team next season. You guys, I agree. Champions League is our priority for next season. Yeah, bro. We take everything. Okay, let's see. Yones in the building. Prem and Champions League is the dream. Yes, bro. Oh my goodness. I'm too hyped, you guys. We got Scouser from Nepal. What's good? I think the Club World Cup, I might watch the later rounds, but not some of the initial games that I'm seeing here this weekend. Oh, Wirtz next season in the Adidas kit is gonna cook. I gotta show you actually. We had an edit. My boy Matija made an edit of Wirtz in an Adidas shirt. I want you guys to rate it. Well, I want you guys to tell me what you think. Let me show you. Wirtz in an Adidas shirt. It's a thing of beauty. Nah, bro, I'm too excited for next season. I'm not going to be able to wait. I don't have that kind of patience, you guys. I'm already every single time for preseason and the start of new seasons, I'm hyped up. Imagine now after the summer that we've had. Imagine now after just, there's so many things to look forward to next season. I'm not going to be able to wait for the whole summer, you guys. We're going to have to figure out a way to keep ourselves distracted because I'm way too excited for next season. I'm not going to be able to last. I'm really not. I don't know what I'm going to do. Here we go. Guys, have a look at that beauty. Wirtz, by the way, represents Adidas, so maybe that helped get the deal over the line. I don't know. But guys, have a look at that. We're going to be back with Adidas next season. I'm so excited. And our third kit looks so sick. What lineup do you think Slot will cook? My prediction for next season is I think we could see Alisson, Frimpong, and Frimpong and Connor Barley will interchange, but for now I'm going to say Frimpong. So Alisson, Frimpong, Ibu Konate, Virgil, Kirkez, Maka, Soboslai, Gravenberch, Salah, Wirtz, Luis Diaz. I could see that. Or if Lucho leaves, then Gakpo. But I think that's going to be what our team will look like. And like I said, I think Wirtz will start off in the false nine, but we're going to play a system in possession where he'll have that free roam kind of role. Kind of like Bobby Firmino had free roam kind of deal because of how good he is on the ball and how much of a difference maker he is when you allow him that freedom of space in the middle of the pitch. We saw him on the left wing for Germany, and I've been listening to Bundesliga experts who have watched Wirtz a lot for Leverkusen, and they say it's a waste to play him on the left wing. He's much better through the middle. Much better through the middle. No excuses next season. $3187 says Man City had a better transfer window than Liverpool. Let's see who wins the league next season. I just can't wait. I think it's going to be another City. I mean, Arsenal could be there, but it depends on the striker that you sign. If you end up signing Sesko, I don't think you'll quite be at the level of City. But man, if we have another Man City Liverpool title race, I would love nothing more than winning a title to get revenge by 1 point against City. That's my ultimate dream. That would be the biggest dream. Between the lines, exactly. That David Lee, One of the reasons he apparently did choose Liverpool over Bayern, by the way, is because Slot called him and had a very, very specific role in the team that he envisioned for him. So he called him with a clear plan. Listen, this is the role you're going to occupy in our team, and you're going to dictate that attack in the final third. And that just gets me so freaking hyped up. So freaking hyped up, you guys. Yeah, Uchiwa, I just know Slot's going to find a way. I'm really not stressed about that. I know Slot's going to find a way, like I said, to start both Szoboszlai and Wirtz. I have no doubt about that. I really don't. What a legend. Big up from Australia. What formation do you think? That I just said it, Lewis. How we're going to set up. I just said how we're going to set up. Luis Diaz to Barca, I doubt it. I don't think we want to sell him. Unless there's some crazy bid that comes in, I really don't think we want to sell him. Look, I think he was playing down the middle for Colombia the other night against Argentina, and he shined. He scored. He's a player who's very versatile in the attack, you know? So I don't think we want to let go of Lucho this summer. I really don't. And he was our second best attacker last season. So like I said, unless an 80 million plus bid comes in, I don't think we sell him. I don't. But that could happen. Of course it could. Of course. Because a number of clubs are interested, especially Saudi. Brian in the building. Yup, Susan, that's the final feat. That's the final feat. That's exactly it. $3187, who's an Arsenal fan, says Arteta has to win the Premier League or the Champions League next season or he's sacked. Yep, I could see, or he's let go. I could see that being the case because now he has to start winning. If it's not now, then when will it be? You know what I mean? Aaron from Nigeria. Love you, Leo. I'm so excited. Me too. I can't wait for next season, bro. Top negotiation. Absolutely, Susan. And like I was saying before, you see those add-ons? Only if those add-ons are triggered would it become a Premier League transfer record fee. I bet you those add-ons are installments that we want to be triggered. You know what I mean? I bet one of them, for example, is we pay Leverkusen 5 million if we win the Champions League. We pay Leverkusen 5 million if he scores 50 league goals. Stuff like that. That anyways, Liverpool would be over the moon if it happened because it would just show that he would be an extremely successful signing. So it's a win-win situation for everyone. It really is. If it gets to the £116 million price, like I was saying before. It's a win-win for everybody because they get more money and we get more success. Where do you think Gyökeres will end up? I don't know, but apparently he's pissed off at Sporting because I was saying before, he had like a gentleman's agreement with Sporting that they would let him go for around 65 million euros this summer. And now apparently that they see the striker market is so competitive this summer, they're asking for a lot more than that. And he's not happy with them at all because he thought for that price, every club would be in on him. And now that they're apparently asking for 80 million plus, it's looking complicated for some teams to get it over the line, you know? So, yeah, let's see. I don't know where he'll end up, but definitely Arsenal will sign a striker this summer. Definitely. And we'll see who it'll end up being. Lewis says, I think we should buy a striker this summer. It's impossible for me to say because I don't know what Slot's plans are next season. If we end up playing football like PSG did last season without a striker, I would not be complaining. So I'm not one that's like, oh, if we go into the new season without a proper striker, we're done for. That's not the way I see it. If we find an incredible opportunity in the market to sign a winger instead of a striker that we're not sure about, I'd be all over that. Because like I said, we saw the proof last season that teams without a proper striker can win the whole lot, and that's what PSG did. They won every trophy possible. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm not that like honed in on saying, oh, we have to get a striker. For me, what I'm actually most concerned about right now, I gotta be honest, because it looks like Kirkez will be done. So we've gone incredible business over the line. 3 players that potentially could start for match week 1. What I'm more worried about is the extension of Ibou Konate, because for me, I don't see a replacement in the market for him this summer. So for me, truly, after we get Kirkez over the line, I want us to go all in to extend Ibou Konate. I think he's he fits us perfectly. And especially with Frimpong playing more and more games at right back, we're going to need a channel defender like him who's extremely fast, who can cover for a right back that likes to fly forward. And that's obviously what Jeremy Frimpong is. So he just suits us perfectly. And in my opinion, that's all I'm focused on. And like I said, with the striker situation, I'm not too fussed. Because like I said, if we end up having a season like PSG did, I'm not complaining, bro. And I have a feeling that Slot was inspired by what he saw. And like I said, I think we're much more focused on what's the opportunities in the market than we need that position. You know, I think we're much more like that. And I think the perfect example is a Florian Wirtz. I'm not so sure that before the summer, we were thinking, I mean, we've been looking at Wirtz apparently since 2020, so he's been a long time target. But I don't think before the summer, everybody was saying, oh, we need to sign a 10. I don't think so. An attacking midfielder. But when Liverpool Football Club saw in the market that a player like Florian Wirtz was available, like I said, who's elite, who's world class at the age of 22, just turned 22, so he was 21 this past season. He's the best player for Germany with Musiala already. We had to go for it. Because like I said, I think we're more interested in having elite players who can shine in different positions than taking a risk on, for example, a Benjamin Sesko, who will cost 100 million euros, who we're just not convinced about, who didn't score that many goals in the Bundesliga, who, yes, has a lot of potential, but he's not someone that we can guarantee comes in and is a difference maker from match week 1. And that's the way I think we'll continue to do our business this summer. We look at the players that could potentially become available, and if they do become available, we go all in for them. That's what I think we're more honed in on. And that's why I think it's very, very unpredictable to know how we're going to set up next season. And I love that, because that just makes it even more difficult for our opponents to set up against us. You know, and it's just, bro, like the levels of excitement I have for next season already, and this season that has only just ended, is maybe the most of all time. I feel like a little kid at Christmas right now. I feel like I remember back when I was like 12, and the whole summer, all I could think about was the first match week of the Premier League and getting back to action and finding that ritual of watching Liverpool every single weekend again. And like how much I missed that in the summer. I feel that already, and we're just June 13th, bro. And I feel like a kid right now, and that's the beauty of football. I think it's, no matter how old we are, the emotions that we feel with football, and I know even if I see there's Arsenal fans in the building, you know, no matter who you support, you know that's what's so special about sport. I think it brings out your inner child, and that's how I feel about Liverpool. My goodness, do I feel that, you know? Shabed, thank you very much for the super chat. Who says Adam Wharton as a 6, Wirtz false 9, and Liverpool rules Europe. Oh my goodness. He's another one where, for example, Shabed, Kapil, I think if Adam Wharton is another maybe market opportunity where, let's say he says to Crystal Palace, I want to leave this summer. And maybe we don't necessarily need a 6 this summer. That's not one of our priority positions as reported by a bunch of journalists. That's another example where maybe we think he's that good and has that high of a ceiling, and he's that Premier League proven already, that if he becomes available, we jump the gun. And we say, yes, it's maybe not our priority position, but we'll find a way to play him. We'll find a way. Maybe Szoboszlai ends up playing more on the left wing. Who knows? We find a way because he's special, you know? And that's the way I see us doing business this summer. I truly think that's the way, you know? And for example, Jar, I see a lot of people mentioning Jonathan David, who says he would be great, and he is available on a free, but I don't see that one happening. And the reason being, him and his agent will be looking for a club where he starts week in, week out. He was already playing week in, week out for Lille, the star player for Lille, playing in the Champions League, scoring in the Champions League. Why would he go to Liverpool and not be a guaranteed starting striker? And some of you may say, oh no, he can be our starting striker. I don't think he's there yet. And I spoke to a lot of Lille fans this season. I saw him play live. I went to a Lille game. I went to Lille against Dortmund in the Champions League. He's good, but I don't know if he's quite there to immediately be the starting striker for Liverpool. And even though he's available on a free, it doesn't mean that he wouldn't cost anything. The signing on fees when you sign a free player is expensive. It could be 30 to 40 million, and he's going to be asking for high wages. So it's not like just because he's free, oh, he's like this cheap player. You know, that's just not how it works. So that's not one I think we go for. I got to be honest. I don't see that one happening. Let's go, guys. By the way, Paul Joyce says, even though the deals of Mamardashvili, Frimpong, Wirtz, and Kirkez see Liverpool spending beyond £200 million, further additions are planned. Guys, further additions are planned. Oh my goodness, I'm too hyped. Nah, bro, I'm too hyped. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. We're about to have the biggest summer in my lifetime of being a Liverpool fan. In my lifetime of being a Liverpool fan, this will be the biggest summer ever. And I do think we're going to sign 1 to 2 more players. But I also think, like I said, there will be a lot of outgoings. But man, I'm too hyped. I can't, bro. I can't deal with this. I can't deal. I'm too hyped, you guys, for next season. Like I said, I feel like a kid at Christmas. I feel like this is the biggest gift we could get as Liverpool fans. Sir Juice, thank you very much for the support. Big up. Bro. I'm too excited. Siberian Republic, nice to see you in the building. What's good? When was the last time we even paid 100? We've never paid 100 million plus. The most we spent was around 70 million for Darwin. That's the most we've ever spent on a transfer. So this by far breaks it. But bro, we got the gem of German football. Like I said, he's the best German player alongside Musiala. And he just turned 22. Like we City 100% would have gone for him. I guarantee you City would have gone for him, and Bayern obviously were in the race as well, but it's just, man, what a time to be alive. You best believe I'm not going to take a single moment for granted this season, you guys. I've never seen us be like this in my lifetime of supporting Liverpool. Never. Never. Oh no, I'm too hyped. I'm going to need to calm down. I'm way too hyped, you guys. I'm going to need to calm down. What a time to be alive, bro. What a time to be alive. I feel so thankful. My goodness. I feel so thankful, bro. That Ronaldo fan, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Who says, who do you think Liverpool should sign a striker and why? Big up the Reds. I want W's in the building for that Ronaldo fan. Thank you very much for the support. I was saying it before. I'm not so sure we have to sign a striker. I'm not so sure we have to. I do think Darwin will leave this summer. It's pretty much a guarantee. Fabrizio Romano said it yesterday, actually. But I personally think that Jota will end up staying as a squad player, and I think Wirtz can occupy that false 9 role, or Subasai can occupy that false 9 role, and we have goals coming from a lot of positions in the team. Look at last season. We didn't really have an out-and-out striker starting for most of the season. Even when Darwin and Jota were fit, Slot preferred to start Lucho down the middle. And how many goals did we score last season? Let me check compared to the other teams. And Florian Wirtz will bring so much quality that he's going to bring more goals to our team. So we scored 80. Yeah, guys, we scored 86 goals last season, which is way more than any other team. This team, the second team that scored the most goals last season was Man City, and they scored 72. We scored 86. And by the way, towards the end of the season, we stopped really trying because the league was over. So we probably could have scored more if he had gone to the last day. But yeah, guys, we scored 86 goals. And like I said, for me, Jota or Darwin were never the out-and-out starting number 9s for us this past season. Much more often, it was Lucho down the middle. And therefore, like I said, I think we could continue to see that because clearly we weren't struggling for goals, and Wirtz will add so much in the final third for us. So already we scored 86 goals, and now you're talking about adding a player like Florian Wirtz to the mix. That's crazy, bro. That's what I mean. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We have to go back to back Premier League. Oh my god, Susan, I'm too excited. You gotta stop. We're not signing Alvarez because Atletico won't sell it at any price. The Atletico Madrid president has made that clear. You know, unless maybe like a 200 million offer comes or something, but no way we go for that. Have you heard that Napoli are interested in Darwin? I could see that happening. Go 12. Since Victor Osimhen is leaving Napoli, would you guys take that deal, by the way, if Darwin headed to Napoli and in exchange we gave them, so we gave them Darwin and we got Victor Osimhen in exchange. Would you guys accept that? Because I think I would, even though it sucks that he would leave at the same time as Salah because of AFCON. He's a proven goal scorer. I mean, you look at his record in the Italian league where it's difficult to score goals. He's a lethal goal scorer and he's scored goals everywhere he's gone. You know what I mean? I think I would, but it's just tough. Like I said, what's tough with that one is the fact that he would have to leave during AFCON as well. You know, it makes it complicated for us. And we'd be losing a lot of goals, obviously, when Salah leaves. We'd be losing a lot of goals. I'm too excited. Yeah, I think after. Nah, Patrick, don't worry. What's good? Who says my bad? I had training last night. I'm literally just up. I'm so tired. I'll go back through the stream for clips. Yes, bro. No stress. Bro, the deal is done. And it's a smaller fee. Wait, I can bring back the previous. Look, guys, I had a graphic before that really shows you what the final fee is. Because some of you were asking about the final fee. Look. This is the final fee. Oh, let me make it the right size. Look, guys. 100. Oopsie. Hold on. 117.5 million euros upfront. That's the final fee. Confirmed by David Ornstein. Confirmed by David Ornstein. Do you think we would pull off the treble? Bro, I was saying it before. I just want the Premier League and the Champions League. I just want us to focus on those. FC FIFA, yeah. Kirkez, it seems like it's just a matter of time. Fabrizio said that's the next here we go that's coming. That's the next here we go that's coming, baby. Did you see Trent? No, yeah, Mustafa. I'm going to make a video on Trent today. Okay, so look out for that. I'm going to make a video on Trent from something that I saw from Duolingo that's just too funny. That was just too funny. The here we go was said, right? For who? For Kirkez? Not yet. For Kirkez, not yet. But Fabrizio says it's the next one to come. That one is so close to being done. Will you stream the Club World Cup? Yes. Yes, I think the latter rounds probably. Some games that you guys would be really hyped to see. But the ones from this weekend, no. Do you think we'll get Isaac? Very unlikely. A video or a short? A short, Tony. Duolingo said thank you for... Yeah, exactly. Beluga. They're really taking the piss. Exactly. Oh, you guys have already seen the tweet. Damn. Well, still, I gotta make a video on it because I think it's too funny. I love your videos, bro. Where are you from, by the way? Thank you, Billy. I'm half French, half Icelandic, but I lived in New York for 11 years, so my schooling really was in English, pretty much. Why are people still worried about Trent? He's in history. Not worried, bro. It's just, obviously, he's a player that meant a lot in our history, and all the moments he did deliver for us won't be forgotten. So it's normal that the moment he has his presentation for Real Madrid that we're interested to see how it goes and stuff. It's normal. Like, you know what I mean? But I have no more emotional attachment, that's for sure. Slinks, nice to see you in the building. What's good? Is Wirtz a world-class player? People who watch him week in, week out say he is world-class. At least that he's been world-class the last 2 seasons. Because, I mean, especially 2 seasons ago, Leverkusen had the craziest season, right? Never losing. They almost went completely undefeated until the Atalanta game in the Europa League. Wirtz was the best player in that team. You know what I mean? And he was doing that at 20 years old. He's now 22. He was doing that at 20 years old. And even last season, he put up incredible numbers. You know? So, yeah, he's the German gem. Like I said, yes, Musiala is also the German gem. They have 2 of them, but they're the 2 best players from Germany. And for Liverpool to convince a player like that to come, it's the biggest statement signing, at least in my lifetime of being a Liverpool fan. The biggest statement signing of me being a Liverpool fan. Which other app? A7, that's the main place where I see the chat is on YouTube. You can just look up Leo's Goals on YouTube, and I'll be able to see you in the chat. I will be able to see you. Yeah, exactly. Minamino, I'm not worried about Kirkez whatsoever. Hamdan, I don't even think the 117 million euros up front for Wirtz is that crazy. People are saying it's that crazy, but you need to look at some of the... Yes, City, it's true. City, the 3 players they signed, they got really good deals, but look out for some of the other transfers this summer. Like, especially the strikers that will move this summer, like Hugo Ekitike or Benjamin Sesko or Gyökeres. There will be big fees there, and I don't think that they're guaranteed elite players like Wirtz is. So people are saying this is such a crazy fee, but I think by the end of the summer, when we have a look at some of the other fees, we're going to think in this market that it's a good deal. Seriously. Because he was the only elite player that was available. You guys, I see quite a few of you guys mentioning in the chat Alvarez or Isaac. For me, there's no chance they leave their clubs this summer. If they would, then we would have been in for them 100%, but I don't think they will. So that's what I mean. We had to go for a player like Florian Wirtz. Yeah, 150 is not true. It's not actually 150. It's, like I said, 136 million euros if all the add-ons are triggered or matched. Luke edits, you gotta have the talent. You gotta develop your talent to be like Florian Wirtz, because I think he's gonna be earning 350k a week at Liverpool. We don't know exactly what the fee is gonna be. What his wages are, because it hasn't been confirmed. But from what I've seen, it seems like he's going to be earning £350,000 a week. So for those of you that need money, just develop the talent that Wirtz has. I know it's not easy, but clearly it's a good path in life if you want to be financially stable and far beyond. I can't believe Sané is at Gala. Bro, did you guys see Galatasaray? We're doing a live stream following the plane of him landing in Turkey. And there were 1.1 million concurrent viewers. Like, truly, I think Turkish fans, that's one of my bucket list dreams, to go to a match in Turkey. Bro, I think they're different to any other country. Like, those numbers, Real Madrid wouldn't come anywhere close. If Real Madrid, like, did a plain, like, following, tracking of, like, Trent, for example, no way it would get the kind of numbers of 1.1 million concurrent viewers. I can't remember the last time I saw that on YouTube. Like Galatasaray truly, or and Besiktas from what I've heard too. Like these Turkish clubs are different gravy. Like I don't understand what goes on in Turkey with like the passion for football. It's crazy. You're gonna start being techie. That's what you got to do. I'd rather see Wirtz at left wing. What do you think? Nah, Devster. I don't want to see again. I can't speak because I never watched Leverkusen week in week out, but I've listened to so many like Bundesliga experts since we signed him because I just want to learn the most I can, and they all pretty much say that he can of course play on the left wing, and we saw he scored for Germany on the left wing, right? But that it's not utilizing his best ability. What he's incredible at is getting on the ball as much as possible. That's what you want from Florian Wirtz because he's so good in those tight spaces. So what they all said is he's the best when he has a free roam position in the center of the pitch and the attacking areas to occupy that, because he draws defenders in, creates space, and he can find a world-class pass to the wings or whoever's making those runs down the middle. So from what I've heard, if we want to get the best out of him, it's in those central positions. And from what I've heard, Slot is willing to basically let him play the role that he wants to play and the role that will get the best out of him because he's that good. That's what the reports have been saying. And that's one of the reasons he chose Liverpool over Bayern, because he's going to be at the centerpiece of that team. Sobocam, Wirtz, center forward. I think that's what we could see happen. 100%. I could see. Leo, I'm an Arsenal fan. Help. Bro, you can stay calm. You got to judge your summer at the end of the summer, because I definitely think you'll sign a striker. We'll see who that striker is, but I definitely think a striker is coming for you. 100%. A striker is coming in for you. 100%. Wait, I gotta see this Paul Joyce article. Hold on. Big up Abudu. Thank you very much for the super chat. Who says, what do you think about Darwin staying? No, I think he is 100% leaving. 100% leaving. 100%. And Fabrizio Romano confirmed it too. And it's clear to see if Slot had wanted to keep him and believed in him for the future and the way he wants to set up, then he would have started all the games towards the end of the season to get him ready for the following season. Trust me. I'm so glad we just went for Wirtz. Exactly, Patrick. That's what it is. Like I said, it's too risky and too expensive, some of the strikers that are available out there, you know? So Patrick says, do you see Jota leaving? Because personally, I don't see how he gets much game time now. I think he's, of the attackers, for me, he's the one that's more likely to stay, actually, because I think he'd be okay with a squad role. And he's definitely a player that can have impact off the bench, like we saw against Forest away this season. So I think he could be a great squad player to have in and around the team. And so I actually think he could stay as a squad player. Whereas Darwin, I think he just wants to start at this moment in time, you know, and that's why I don't see him staying. I think there's more of a chance that Lucho leaves, Chiesa, and Darwin. Those three for me are the more likely to leave. And I think Gakpo, Salah, and Jota are really likely to stay. But like I said, if, for example, Wolves comes in and bids £40 million for Jota because they need a replacement for Cunha, for example, I could see us accepting that. But it all depends on if a bid comes in where Liverpool thinks it's more than kind of his market value or really fair for his market value, and then we think we can find a replacement. But I doubt that will happen. So probably My guess is that he ends up staying, actually. Yeah, Irving apparently, Leverkusen really want to try to sign Jarrell Kwanzaa, so we gotta look out for that. We gotta look out for that. And we don't know. That's a video I'm gonna make today, actually, on the number. Surely it's only a matter of time before Harvey leaves. Now he's 100% leaving, in my opinion. Unfortunately, I could see the same thing happening for youngsters like Ben Doak and maybe even Bajetic. I think definitely Harvey Elliott, because there'll be a lot of suitors this summer, and the way he's spoken in interviews about his future, it seems like he just wants first team football, and I don't see us loaning him out because he's not at that stage in his career. He could start for many really good teams. So I think Harvey will leave, and like you said, Ben Doak, apparently Everton really want him. So if, let's say, or Crystal Palace are interested too, let's say, you know, a team bids £25 million for Ben Doak, I could see us accepting that. I really could, because again, will he get playing time for Liverpool this season? I don't think so. I really don't. So yeah, there could be a lot of outgoings this summer, and that's why that news that there will be further additions even after these three that we've signed. I think the main reason for that is because there will be a lot of outgoings as well. That's one of the big reasons. You know what I mean? 3187. I agree. Arsenal had definitely a better season than United, but I think Spurs had a better season than Arsenal. I do think so, because they got Champions League football and they won a trophy. So they did the same thing that Arsenal did. So get Champions League football and they got a trophy on top of that. You know what I mean? So if you just base it off of end of season results, which is really what people remember in 5 years' time, that's what matters. You know what I mean? I'd say Elliott will leave for 30 million. I'd hope we get more than 30 million for Elliott, bro. He should be worth more than that. Are you kidding? He definitely should be worth more than that. Will Wirtz and Frimpong be available for preseason? Yes. What do you think of Wirtz wearing the number 14? That I don't. Yeah. I mean, whatever he wants, bro. I'm not too fussed about the number. I just want to see him play for Liverpool. That's it. What I love too is, remember at the end of the season, Virgil said that we were gonna have a big summer ahead, and so many people were doubtful. Look at the summer we're having now. Unbelievable. Look at the summer we're having now. So it shows, and I think part of the reason, and this is why again, like I want to give even more credit to Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk beyond just what they provide for us on the football pitch. I'll bet you they helped put some pressure on the owners as well to spend more this summer, because they would have said, "Listen, we want to sign 2 years on, but we need to have guarantees that we're going to continue to win the biggest trophies. And the only way we can continue to win the biggest trophies is if we continue to invest in the team and improve, because the likes of City and Arsenal will also improve this summer." So I think them extending and their elite standards helped, in my opinion, behind the scenes to put pressure on us to go big this summer. And that for me is another one where I'm just like, bro, what? They're both absolute legends. Legends. 3187. I wouldn't say Europa League is a Mickey Mouse trophy. Nah, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so. I think the Conference League, yeah. But guys, what would you say? What do you think's a bigger trophy? The FA Cup or the Europa League? I'm curious to see what you guys think. What do you guys think is bigger? Europa League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup? I'm curious. Because I hear so many mixed opinions on that. But Europa League, I definitely don't think is a Mickey Mouse trophy. I would have loved to have won it during the beginning of the Klopp era. Remember when we lost in the final? I would have loved to have won it back then. Early days of Jurgen. JS2 says, "Hey Leo, do you think we should get a number 9 striker, or should we make Szoboszlai step up to the false 9 role?" Like I said before, I could see that being the case, and us keeping Jota, where maybe in some games we want an out-and-out striker, and we have Jota as an option. Otherwise, we could play Wirtz or Szoboszlai in the false 9 role, or Lucho, who I think could end up staying as well. He played many times down the middle for us. So even if we don't end up signing a striker and Darwin leaves, we technically would have Jota, Wirtz, Szoboszlai, and Luis Diaz as options that we've seen play down the middle before. You know what I mean? Europa League, because FA Cup gives you Europa League anyways. See, most of you guys are saying Europa League is bigger of those three trophies. See, most of you guys. Yeah, I agree the new format isn't the same, but it's still, in my opinion, it's recognized more. I don't know. Because it gets you Champions League football as well. Yeah, exactly. Luca says Europa League because you get Champions League football and a trophy that matters. Completely agree. Leo, we need more in real life videos. Yes, links. I want to do more, but the problem is it takes real big investment to do in real life videos. I want to do more this summer. If you guys are down, I think it would be so much fun to do in real life streams playing football, because I'll be back in Iceland for a month and a half. And we did that in the past and it was so much fun. So if you guys are down this summer, we could do more in real life streams playing football. Are you streaming the Club World Cup? Yes, Iberian Republic. I plan on certain games. We'll see what games we're most hyped about. But for this weekend, I don't think so. If Lucho leaves, would you mind signing Ivan Perisic? Nah, bro, he's too old. I'm not sure. If we sell Lucho, it would be for big money, and I want us to go for a big player like a Rodrigo, if that was to happen. I mean, Perisic is 36 years old, bro. 36. I know he's a good player, but come on. Come on. I think Florian Wirtz won't be announced until after the holiday period. So it probably won't be for another 2 weeks. Because he'll need to pass his medical, and I don't think he's doing his medical now, right? Would you prefer Rodrigo or Leao? Rodrigo, for sure. He's more versatile. Do you think Robbo would be okay being on the bench? Yes, with the amount of games that we play, and he's realistic. You hear him speak about his potential role next season. He speaks so honestly, knowing that he doesn't have the legs that he had in his prime. And Kirkez definitely has the legs. More pace. He's definitely more pacey than Robbo was even in his prime. So he understands the situation. He understands the brutal reality of football, and still to be around the team, and still he'll get minutes. He'll start in the domestic cups and stuff like that, and still be a leader behind the scenes. I think he'll accept that role. He'll know that the reality of football, you know? Yeah, it seems like Rodrigo won't leave. I saw that, bro. I saw that as well. He's coming back from holiday on Wednesday to do his medical. I haven't seen anything reliable saying that, but it could be the case. You're right. No, you know what? I agree with you guys. I could see him coming back early from his holiday to just pass his medical and do the media stuff, and then go back out on holiday. So he basically comes to Liverpool for one day, gets everything sealed, basically, so we can announce him, and then he goes back out on holiday. I could see that being the case. Yeah, Patrick, And you know what's crazy too? Paddy the Baddy said that publicly, and he got a lot of hate. People saying, how could you know that he's been practicing his Spanish, this and that? But we're clearly seeing that he spoke like with such ease, which just shows he's been practicing his Spanish. Absolutely. What about Costas? He'll definitely leave. He'll definitely leave because there's no way we keep 3 senior left backs. No chance. Did you see Kevin De Bruyne joining Napoli, bro? I love that move. That's outside of Liverpool. That's been my favorite move this summer because Napoli is the team in Italy that I have a soft spot for. Like the passion in Naples. My goodness, I want to go to a game so bad. You see what it means, like the way they've treated Scott McTominay since he came in and the reception he got after getting player of the season. And just, I don't know, there's so much I love about Napoli as a club. And like, I've been to Naples before and I've walked and you see so many murals and just like the passion for football. Like it is incredible there, you know? So for Kevin De Bruyne to go to a club like that where you know if he performs well, they'll love him to bits. I just love that so much. I love that so much. And I can't wait to see KDB playing for in Naples. Ashwini says, see you in the next live, Leo. You'll never walk alone. Ashwini, see you soon. I'm sure this weekend they'll be alive, 100%. Like this morning, I didn't expect to go on a live, but obviously we got the big news that all the English journalists now confirm that it's 100% done deal. 100% done deal. Now I can finally get a De Bruyne shirt. Yeah, bro. Oh. And like I said, I think every Liverpool fan can appreciate Napoli because the passion is like in Liverpool. Like I said, all the murals and everything. Bro, KDB and McTominay in the same midfield. That's going to be special because Scott McTominay has been, like I said, he got Serie A player of the season. He's been an incredible signing for them. Incredible. The way he's adjusted in just one season. Oh, God, I'm starting to get a headache. I got to hydrate. It's getting so hot here in France. Did you see Luka Modric going to AC Milan? Bro, sick. Imagine AC Milan facing Napoli next season, Luka Modric against De Bruyne in the midfield. Yes, they're getting towards the latter end of their careers, but they're both absolute legends. 2 of the greatest midfielders we've ever seen that will be playing in Italy. Ollie, I think after Kirkez, we'll still make 1 to 2 signings. I think we could sign 5 players this summer, genuinely. But before then, I think we'll start to really sell. You know, there's many players that I think will be outgoings this summer that we were mentioning before. Bad Boy says, as an Arsenal fan, this is painful. Should we sign Barcola? It depends for the price, bro. If he really wants to leave PSG this season because he's no longer a starter and he's available for a good price, I could see us going for him. What's the temperature? I think it's 32 degrees Celsius where I am. 32 degrees Celsius. The view, Paul Joyce also said, quote, the view at Liverpool is that Wirtz is someone who can make the difference and a player for whom it was worth breaking the bank for. I mean, clearly because they did. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think we're going to allow him a free roam position in the team because of how special we see him being, you know, dictating the tempo in the final third. Patrick says, I had some Arsenal friends saying about the Wirtz transfer that they actually don't mind it as it brings one of the world's best to the Premier League and that's what they want to see. I'm not so sure I agree with that. If you told me that Arsenal were signing Alvarez, who is one of the best in the world, I would not be happy about that. My goodness, no chance. Because if Arsenal signed Alvarez, that would change the title race significantly in a major way. So I don't agree with that point. I'm sorry. I don't want good players going to rivals. Like, fair play to them if they see it like that. But I would hate Julian Alvarez moving to Arsenal. Hate it so much. I'm sorry to the Arsenal fan in the building. But they're a direct rival in this moment in time. Not in previous years, but now the way they've grown under Arteta, they have become that. Leo, I'm an oven because it's 46 degrees here. Where are you, Chess? Where are you, bro? Juan Garcia, La Liga's best goalkeeper, and Liverpool signed Wirtz. Bro, what a summer it's been so far. What a summer it's been. Do you think Endo will get a chance to remain as a squad player? I think he'll remain a squad player. I definitely don't see Endo. Like I said, competition for places will be even more competitive this season. So anybody that didn't get regular starts last season, I don't see how it would change for them this season. And that's why I said it before. The likes of Costas, the likes of Tyler Morton, the likes of Harvey Elliott, the likes of Chiesa, who didn't get many minutes last season, I can only see it being the same, if not worse, this coming season, because it's going to be more competitive to get into that team with the way we're improving, you know? Blue says Liverpool fans are very patient with their players. If Darwin played for any other club, he'd get booed every game. That's the beauty of Liverpool Football Club. Unless you aren't honest in your communication with Trent. It's just like with Trent, for me the best way I've seen people respond to the Trent situation, it's they're not angry that he's leaving. Like, we can't hold players hostage to being at our football club. It's the way that he's left. It's the way that he's left in terms of being so unclear in his communication. Like the celebration he did against West Ham, there's certain moments where it's like he made us believe he was going to stay, and so many things were unclear, and that hurt us Liverpool fans. You know what I mean? Because it felt like we were being played in those moments. But for him to leave, of course he has a right to leave. Or the fact that, he could have... The only thing that I think isn't fair is some people are saying this, and I think Paddy the Batty said this, who said, for example, Coutinho isn't even a Scouser, and yet he signed a contract extension so that we could get a big fee from Barcelona. I think Real Madrid from 2 years ago were putting pressure on him, saying, unless we get you on a free, we're not going to sign you. And I know that sucks for us because it's almost like blackmail in a way. But I think they would have said that to him. If you sign that extension, we can't pay 70 to 80 million, which is probably his market value, and therefore we can't sign you. But we really want you, and you're going to be our key player, and we're gonna offer you a 6-year contract, this and that. So I think that was the situation. So I can't hold that to Trent. I can't hold it. But yeah, I do think we treat our players like very few other fan bases. Very few other fan bases, like you said, have the patience and give the love. Like, the away end, we're just chanting Darwin's name throughout the season, even if he didn't have a great season. You know what I mean? Thank you, Luca. I appreciate you always supporting in the building. Yo, Leo, I'm in Dubai on holiday and it's 42 degrees here. Jesus, can you even walk on the streets? I mean, I bet there's air conditioning everywhere inside, but like on the streets, you must not be able to walk. But you see a player I never see leaving their club, 3187. I don't think Bukayo Saka is ever going to leave Arsenal. I don't know. Unless like Arsenal has a major downfall, but I just don't see it. Nah, bro, I'm half French, half Icelandic. But I love Greece. I love, love, love Greece. Greetings from Nairobi, Leo. Glad to join in today. Nice to see you in the building. How do you feel about this transfer being 100% confirmed by all the reliable journalists now? How do you feel in England? Because there was a bit of a wait after the Fabrizio here. Here we go. The clubs reached an agreement on Wednesday evening. The German... Susan says, Leo, I'm sure Wirtz will be top seller. Will be a top seller for Liverpool shirts 100%, especially with the hype. Like the first season when you sign a player, everybody is so hyped. But Salah obviously will sell a lot of shirts too with the season he just had. Let's be real. Instead of Wirtz Wednesday, it's Wirtz Friday. Bro, what a Friday though. What a freaking Friday. Nah, I like the idea of only using YouTube as a social media. I like that for you. But yeah, you guys, I think this is going to be the end of the live stream. This is going to be the end of the live stream because I'm going to prepare some videos for you guys. And I got to have some food because I barely ate. I barely ate so far today. But you guys, I appreciate all of you being in the building as always. You best believe live streams will be coming very, very soon. As you saw, this was a spontaneous one after the news that broke this summer, but it's going to be the busiest summer I know in my lifetime of being a Liverpool fan, at least. So we're going to get to experience it all together, discuss it all together with so much more to come. But man, I already cannot wait for next season. Too exciting. But yeah, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your Friday. And I know I'm going to see you guys very, very soon. You'll never walk alone, guys.